वेलकम बैक टू टुडेज वीडियो। आज एक आज क्या इमरजेंसी हॉस्पिटल जा रहे हो आप लोग बड़े अचानक से?
हम ऐसे ही उठ गए, बस सोए हुए थे।
क्यों, खैरियत है?
वो ना यहाँ पे एक ना मैटरनिटी टूर कराते हैं डिलीवरी से पहले।
अच्छा,
हॉस्पिटल विजिट करवाते हैं, आपको बताते हैं कैसे कैसे अगर आपको इमरजेंसी पड़ती है तो आप किस
मतलब अगर
वे से
आपको
आओ।
इमरजेंसी में आना पड़े फटाफट तो कहाँ कहाँ आना है?
हाँ, कहाँ कहाँ आना है और बताते हैं कि क्या क्या फैसिलिटीज़ वो प्रोवाइड करते हैं, आपका रूम कैसा होगा और कहाँ पे क्या चीज़ है, कहाँ पे क्या चीज़ है।
चलो, बड़ा एक्साइटिंग होने वाला है फिर तो।
हाँ।
और अभी हर मंथ की लास्ट मंडे को शाम में
हर मंथ की
हाँ शाम में होता है ट्रिप टूर देते हैं। तो आज हम लोग भी जा रहे हैं पहली बार। अभी हमारी डिलीवरी जो है वो बिल्कुल पास है, तो हम लोग पहुंचते हैं और फिर आपको बताते हैं। बल्कि फ़ोन पकड़ना ज़रा, और इन्फॉर्मेशन कुछ शेयर करनी है तो कर दो।
हाँ, बस यही है। तो बताते हैं कि आपका बेड कैसा होगा और आपको रूम कैसा दिया जाएगा, लेबर रूम कहाँ होगा, आपका प्राइवेट रूम कहाँ होगा, कॉफ़ी एरिया कहाँ होगा, बच्चों का प्लेइंग एरिया भी उन्होंने बनाया हुआ है, मैंने सुना है, वो कहाँ होगा। अगर आपके साथ एक्स्ट्रा कोई बच्चा है तो आप उसको खेलने के लिए ले जाएं। चलो देखो वहाँ पे क्या क्या होता है, चलते हैं।
देखो, आज पहली बार है, सुनी तो बहुत चीज़ें हैं कि काफ़ी कुछ प्रोवाइड करते हैं लोग। बड़ा हमारा बैग रेडी है, हर चीज़ हमारे पास है। पर इन एनी केस
हाँ,
अगर ज़रूरत पड़े तो देखें कि क्या क्या जो हमें मिल सकता है वहाँ से।
चलो लेट्स गो।
मतलब ज़रूरी नहीं है कि हम हर चीज़ ही।
हाँ, 6:30 पे पहुँचना है हमने। पहले पहुँचते हैं वहाँ पे, फिर देखते हैं वो क्या कहती है।
हाँ,
सिंडी ब्लैक नेम है उसका, वो वेट कर रही है हमारा।
6:30 पे पहुँचना है।
6:30
अभी क्या टाइम हो गया?
6:18।
हाँ, टाइम है, हमें 5 मिनट लगते हैं जब
हाँ,
जाते हुए।
ओके, पास ही हमारे। ओके, ये हमारा अपार्टमेंट है
हाँ,
और
हमारे पास मौसम हो गया अच्छा।
बहुत अच्छा हो
अब
गया।
बनेंगे खूब ब्लॉग्स। और हमारे पास एक एक्साइटिंग न्यूज़ और भी है।
हाँ
हमारे ना एक 2 बंदों की एडिशन होने वाली है।
यस।
हमारी ट्विंस नहीं आने वाले, पर एक बेबी और एक हमारी आने वाली है नानी।
इब्राहिम की नानी,
नानी
इब्राहिम
की
से
टिकट हो गई है कनाडा की और वीज़ा वगैरह लग गया उनका। और अभी हम एक्साइटेड हैं, कुछ दिनों में हमारे वो पास आ जाएंगे और बड़ा मज़ा आने वाला है फिर।
व्हाट, चलो मैं अब बंद करती हूँ।
अरे वाह भाई, बड़े बड़े शूज़ से डायरेक्ट चप्पलों में आ गए। खैर तो है, स्नो से जान छुटी। अब आज मार्च का आखिरी दिन है, स्प्रिंग ऑफिशियली स्टार्ट हो गया एक हफ्ता पहले और मौसम बहुत अच्छा हो गया है। जैकेट्स जो हैं वो कम हो गई हैं और डिलीवरी के लिए लोग कुछ आ रहे हैं। और आज हम आ रहे हैं विज़िट पे, अपने मैटरनिटी वार्ड का विज़िट। तो बड़ी अच्छी प्रैक्टिस है हॉस्पिटल के अंदर। टिम होटल, आई थिंक यहाँ पे आगे जो है वो हमें किचन भी दिखाएंगे शायद, ऐसे ही है ना? हाँ। ये है जी हमारा हॉस्पिटल, हमारे सिटी का मेन हॉस्पिटल, यूनिवर्सिटी हॉस्पिटल। और इसके आसपास जो बिल्डिंग हैं वो भी हेल्थ यूनिट्स या डिफरेंट वैक्सीनेशन की है, किस काम के लिए, कोई बच्चों की है। तो यहाँ है जी हमारा केस ड्यू प्रेगनेंसी डिलीवरी का। और आज हमारा, जैसे कि हम बता चुके हैं, एक मॉक विज़िट है इमरजेंसी का। तो ध्यान से चलो, आप नहीं आ जाओ मेरे पास।
You don't have to do this time with me right now, but have your contraction with your feet apart on the stairs. Really, you will want to stop and do it like this. Create some asymmetry in all this. So partners, you just walk behind them as they're coming up the stairs sideways.
हाँ जी, तो ऐसे हम आएंगे। कंट्रैक्शन जब होंगी, जब पेन स्टार्ट होगा, वो हमने आना है इमरजेंसी and X-ray. हमारे साथ हैं 10 couples.
Yeah, you can come up here to the side. I just don't want to. Yeah, come up so you can see, but we don't want to block. So I'm going to open this door, and then I'm just going to encourage everyone to just stick their head and look down it so that you can see the entrance. You'll just see it straight down the hallway.
Yeah, this is emergency entrance.
All right. Yeah.
Did everyone see? Okay. Did you see?
Yeah, I see. Sorry. I think there's someone trying to get out of the bathroom. I was waiting at the door.
Thank you.
Usually in the wrong spot, wrong time.
Well, there's a lot of hard places to stand. But, okay, so when you come in, if you come in through there in the middle of the night or anytime, and they're going to literally see you, and they're going to be like, oh, we don't want you here. So don't worry, you're not going to have to go through a process. They're going to look at you and go, please keep going. Do you need a wheelchair?
Okay.
So you're going to get through there, probably right to here, and stop and have some good contractions. And then if we look, there's really quite small on the sign behind you. It's going to say maternity this way. So there's a few not well marked signs.
Okay.
If you're feeling stressed or you need to get there faster than you think you can get there, get a wheelchair, get security to take you there, okay? If you're here with a doula, they're gonna be able to help navigate that with you. But otherwise, if you're a vocal laborer, you'll probably be offered a wheelchair. If you think you can make the walk, I encourage you to make the walk. For those of you having babies number 2, if you're feeling like you need to walk like this, you're probably better to get a wheelchair and have someone get you there a little bit faster. Hallway babies aren't the most ideal. Okay, so we're gonna head this way.
Okay. जैसे स्कूल की क्लास
या स्कूल की क्लास.
अब पता लग गया ना कैसे कैसे आना है.
हाँ. लोग ऐसे हमें देख रहे हैं ना जैसे बच्चे आ रहे हैं स्कूल से. So excited. मुझे जो आने वाली है पता.
You're coming. She told you how much Gloria. We've got another little sign here. So we're gonna go this way.
Maternity. Yeah. Bring. जो आने वाली है पता.
It's a decent walk. Yeah, it's a decent walk. It feels longer in labor, for sure. Now you know you're on the right track.
Perfect.
We're gonna just pause here. Oh, I thought you were gonna scare me. Like, who's that? Okay, everyone pretend you're in labor. All right, come on up here so you can hear and see everything okay. So our labor and delivery unit is a locked unit except for it has specific visiting hours. So very clearly marked from 10 till noon and 5 till 8. Otherwise, these doors are locked, so they are open because of the timing right now. So if you come at this time, you can go right through, but otherwise you're gonna just pick up the phone right here and push number 1, and then you're just gonna say, it's so-and-so, I'm here in labor. Guys, if you've dropped her off and then you're going back out to get the bags from the car, which is probably what will happen, when you come back, hey, I'm here with so-and-so, if you know the room number or whatever, and let them know. But let's let this gentleman through.
See you soon.
So, and then let your visitors and everybody know about the visiting hours. So you're allowed 2 people
to be with you at any time 24/7. So one of them would be your partner, one of them could be somebody else. If you're working with a doula, that person does not count as one of those two people. Okay, any questions about any of that? Okay, so come on in. I'm just gonna get you to go to the left and just wait in the waiting room, and I'm gonna go find out what spaces are available for us.
Okay.
I'll get here for a second.
You excited?
Sitting area सारा.
Are you excited? You're nervous.
मुझसे पूछ रहे हो excited? वो nervous है, time pass है, पता नहीं क्या होता है. ये sitting area TV है, हम बैठ के भी खा सकते हैं.
Nice.
फोन पे फोन आया इधर बैठ के अटेंड कर सकते हैं.
Nice.
इधर आओ.
Sorry. This is like kitchen.
I like this. बेबी आपका सजाना है आपने ना इधर तो इधर लेके आगे इब्राहिम को छोटी है
Oh, okay.
What's the other people wearing?
ये सारे हमारे क्लास फेलोज हैं.
So our plan is what we're gonna go do is we'll see an assessment room, then we'll go to a labor room with birth, and then we'll go to a postpartum room. Sound good? Okay, so when you come in, you would just go to the nurses station. You would let them know who you are, and then they'll be.
चलो ना आगे चलो.
मैं आई थी इधर.
Oh, okay. I remember who is.
Around this side over here too. It's gonna be squishy, you guys, that's okay. I'm gonna have to move one so they're good. Is everybody here? Yep. Okay, so, this is an assessment room. Not big, not spacious, I know, but this is a room where anything that needs to happen where you're not gonna get admitted happens. Okay, so if you have like a non-stress test in your end of your pregnancy, things would happen here. Certain types of induction will happen in this room, but also when you're in labor, if you feel like maybe you're ready to be admitted, you want to come and get assessed, you're concerned about anything, everything would kind of happen in here. So our hospital generally in a normal healthy pregnancy will admit when you're somewhere between 5 to 6 centimeters dilated. So if you come in here, it's very normal, especially with a first baby, to come in and you're like, you're doing awesome, you're 2. There you go home. And then come back and you're doing awesome, you're like 4. Right? So all of that would happen in here. If you needed some pain management, some support with some pain management early in labor, that could happen in this room, things like that. So there's 4 of these rooms. I think judging by the looks, maybe we'll do before summertime, most of the people here. Yeah. I was just gonna say these rooms get really quite hot in the summertime, so I always encourage people to bring a fan. Number 1 is the coolest, and it just gets hotter all the way to number 4. So these rooms all have big bathrooms, so you can have a look in the bathroom. They all have like stand-up showers spaces. It's from this door right to that wall. I don't know, they're really abnormally large for the space, but partners, you have a chair over there. This is the machine they'll use for listening to baby and contractions. Couple things I want to point out. One, lighting is awful in here. So would you mind just turning off the exam lights? Both of them, yeah. Isn't that better?
Yes.
So I would right away just adjust your lighting as needed. This is plenty of light for the nursing to do everything they need. If they need more light, they will turn it on, right? We can trust that. The other thing is, as partners, I always want you to know where the puke buckets are. Vomiting in labor is very, very, he's like, okay, I want to listen to this part. Vomiting in labor is very, very common, and it often isn't like, oh, I think I might be nauseous, maybe can you give me something? It doesn't look like that. So No, you're okay.
I'm about that.
In every room, there's some sort of wardrobe like this off in the corner. Generally, somewhere on the bottom, you're gonna find a bunch of buckets like this, whether they're green or white. Always bring 2. The reason is, that is very shallow. So splashback's real and it's gross. So you wanna trade those out quickly so that someone is, can kind of keep fresh in there. Also over here, you're gonna find face cloths, pads, things like that you need. One last thing in this room, if anybody wants to look in the bathroom, you're welcome to, but there is always a stack of cups beside the toilet, and I do encourage people to just, you're probably gonna go in there and pee, might as well pee in a cup, because they're probably gonna ask you for it. And then you haven't like just gone to the bathroom and say, I know you probably don't pee very frequently, right?
No.
But uncommon. Any questions about this room?
Do they usually keep you in here long, or do they just check you and then
You
send
know
you on
what?
your way?
It's a great question. It really, really depends. There's not like one answer
Okay.
on that, because sometimes you're coming in here, say for a non-stress test, and they need just 30 minutes of good strip. But if your baby is sleeping, maybe that takes 2 hours to get.
Oh, okay.
For an induction with Cervidil, you probably would be here for 3 hours.
Okay.
If you come in labor and you're kind of right on that edge where it's like you're almost ready, it looks like you might, maybe, they may say, why don't you wait for an hour and we'll check you again.
Oh, so then you would wait.
And then sometimes you would wait
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Or if you're waiting for a doctor, if you're waiting for test results for something, you can
Okay.
be here. So, I mean, not that we sometimes don't spend a bunch of time in here, but also you can come in and they're like, oh gosh, yeah, you're 7 centimeters, let's get you to a room.
Oh, okay.
And then you're just leaving.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Depends.
There's not ever one answer for anything birth related. Never. Okay, so we're gonna head out. So let's say in this scenario, we're ready to be admitted, okay? That's why we're gonna go to the next room. Anybody who wants to linger in the room, please do. I'm not ready to peek in the bathroom. Yeah, turn the light on
Yeah,
in
wow,
there.
that is obnoxiously large, you're right.
Oh, there's like proportion.
Literally half the size of this entire room.
I always feel like I'm being dramatic today.
It's huge. Oh, yeah, nice.
Thank you.
One more thing I'll put before we walk today is that there's a water and ice cooler, microwave. For this cooler, microwave. Okay, so these rooms on this side are all maternity rooms after babies are born, or if they're waiting. But this is, but this is where your water and ice.
रिमूव कर दो जैकेट बेबी इतना बड़ा पहना हुआ है
गर्मी लग रही है ये स्टेशन है वाटर स्टेशन यहाँ से पानी वगैरह
17 मिनट का टूर हो गया इब्राहिम नर्सिंग स्टेशन काफी की तरह ही है ऑलमोस्ट
लेबर रूम उधर जाके बैठ जाओ
Oh, this is huge.
Yeah, you turn the lights on and close the door for me.
quite big, right?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome. Okay, pregnant people. There's a chair there. There's a stool there. You can sit on the bed here. You can sit over here. And there's one more chair here. I'm going to pull out. Okay, so I'm going to worry you until somebody sits down in some of these chairs. So we are going to be here, standing here for like 20 minutes. So have a seat. Honey, you can sit right
Two
here.
papers.
I have to pee again after.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. That's better. I'm better anyways. So what do you think?
It's great.
It's great, hey? Is everybody impressed? I feel like everyone should be impressed every time. Yeah, it's nice and spacious. So we have 4 rooms like this. They're all just kind of mirrors of each other. You guys are super lucky tonight to get the room with the only cassette and DVD player in it. Not DVD, CD. Cassette and CD. So if you bring your cassette or CDs, you can turn them lots because there's not enough music. But okay, so I'm going to take you through a few things in this room. When you come in, right off the bat, this is your side. Okay, this is the medical side. Just stay away from that side. Don't put your stuff over there. This is all your side over here. And there's lots of space. Here, but the doors only open that far. There's a little mini fridge. Yeah. This is as far as they open, I'm sorry. There's a little mini fridge in all the rooms, and then there's lots of space here for your suitcases, your Yeti coolers, whatever you bring in. I've seen people bring all sorts of stuff with them. Also, if you come with nothing, that's fine too. In here, you're also going to find some more stuff. Puke buckets sometimes are up top. I'll show you the other place that they are. You're also going to find what will be your most favorite undies ever, right here.
Oh, that's okay. I'll stand up good.
I just can't see you there.
I know,
That's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm going to be moving around more, but this is good.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got these undies.
Nice.
So these are washable. They come in 2 sizes now. But they are washable. You're going to have access to probably 4 or 5 pairs of them. Please wash them and take them home. You will want them at home later. And the reason why...
I'm not okay
I'm going to make up one of our first pads that we have. Because I'm a visual person, and I think other people are probably visual as well. So our first pads after we birth are substantial, and they take some substantial undies to keep them secure. So that would be, this is some of our normal first pads to wear, right? And so we want a little bit more. I'm just gonna mess with you now at this point. Oh, look, I'm going to okay, the other things you have over here are hospital gowns, you have face cloths, towels, also you have peri bottles. So peri bottles, again, after you have a vaginal birth especially, you wouldn't wipe after you use the bathroom for a period of time. Fill this, guys, you probably are going to be filling it at some point. You're going to want to do some nice warm water, not cold or not hot, unless she's requested that specifically. Do a little test, and then, Mom, you're going to spray clean rather than wipe for the first little while. How long? I don't know. Depends on how you birth. And some people actually really quite like it, so they do it for a little bit longer. Top drawer. You're going to find some terrible Kleenex. If you are a Kleenex person, bring some. This is real scratchy. But also you're going to find some mouthwash and these little swabs, and these are meant to be used as like toothbrushes, so you can kind of scrape your tongue and your teeth a little bit with them. Guys, this is good for you too. We're up for long periods of time and you're down there doing some good. You're doing awesome, baby. Sometimes you need to take care of yourself here. And then the other thing, I've seen them distributed in a few different places. These are also puke, these are for vomit. Okay, so if you can't find the bowl, then this works really well. It just opens like this, and it's actually much nicer for people who are laying down and vomiting. Second drawer, you're gonna find this sheet, and this, we don't have a bassinet in here, but I'll show you where normally there would be a bassinet right here, and there would be one of these sheets draped over the bassinet. The reason I'm showing you this sheet is because this is a fantastic tool to use to tie up on things so that Mom can pull while she's pushing. So I always like to use this and tie it up on a few places on the bed when Mom is pushing, and I'll show you some of those places as we go through here. Any questions so far?
Is there like the balls or anything in any of the rooms?
Yeah, you bet. So I don't think they don't store them in the rooms anymore. They have them in one place. It was a little ball garden. I remember. And it's nice actually because then you can ask, because they often were in a room and then someone's in the room and then they're not using it, but
Right.
someone's gonna sneak it, like it was so now.
It's
But
awkward to bring with you.
it is, so I do suggest if you were at home and loving your ball and you're like, I can't imagine this without it, throw it in the car, but don't bring it up until you find if you can get one here or not. Because sometimes all that's left is a small one or a large one, and then it's not really actually helpful for you. So if you know you love your ball, just throw it in the car. Okay, let's have a look at this bed. I always like to move it right up top, and then if somebody, when we come in, if everything is going well, a great way to labor is like this. So you can lean over the bed, move it back and forth. There's these mats stored generally under the bed here. You can't see it from where you're sitting. Sorry. But it's just like, so that you can stand on it, your feet won't get sore. I know most of you are probably thinking how gross to be barefoot in a hospital. I promise your contractions will bring you to a place where you do not care about that. And then it's actually quite nice to be standing on the mat. Partners, this is great for you to be across the side. You've got your ice water, maybe you have a bucket with cold cloths in it, but this is a nice way to stand. They can do everything that they need to do to check baby and check mom and monitor while you're standing like this. Does anybody here have a midwife? Yes. Midwife? Nobody else? Okay. We'll stick her head in the midwife's room as well, so you can see like the water birth tub and things like that. But for the most part, physicians like to catch babies in beds, and so I like to show ways that this is not so painful when there's somebody in it, I swear. I always think it needs to move so much faster, but then when someone's in it, you're like, no, it shouldn't be. Oops, what am I doing? Okay, so a couple things. Partners, when mom is in bed, I encourage you to move the bed to the height that suits you, right? You're taller. If the bed is really low and you're rubbing her back and you're like this the whole night, you're gonna be so painful. So just raise the bed up. Now when your care provider comes in, it doesn't matter about you at all. They're gonna just set it to their height, which is fair. But I just encourage you to know that that's okay to do. So a couple of great labor and birth pushing positions are putting the back of the bed up like this, and then mom would be on her knees here, hands are up here, and then you're gonna push your bum back towards your heels, right? So you're pushing like this. That's a really great way to get some nice gravity and feel nice and strong. Partners, you would be back here, cold cloth, especially partners that aren't wanting to watch as much. This tends to be a really nice place for you to kind of hang out, if that's how it happens. We also have a squat bar. This is the bed do so many cool things. It makes it actually quite uncomfortable as far as sleeping. but it does lots of good things. Okay, so every room has a squat bar. And the squat bar actually goes into the metal frame of the bed, so it's very, very stable. It goes in like this, obviously properly. And then in this situation, mom would have her feet here and be up squatting over top of this, and come back, put her bum here, lay back, and then come up and squat. So just to be clear, it would be like this. Is how you would be. So not like this isn't as helpful. It seems to be this is the more helpful way. Another way that I always loved using the squat bar, that sheet that I showed you, we would.
I wasn't sure if you could grab the sheet or.
Oh no, I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
ready. We're gonna use our imaginations here. But we would tie the sheet up on this, and then mom is here, their bag. Their feet here on either side, and then pulling in the middle. So we call this water ski position. Can you visualize that? Okay, so with this position, it actually makes moms very, very powerful in their pushing. This is would you agree? This is a fantastic position. It's easy for someone to catch in, but also it's nice for resting, and it's nice and powerful. What I do encourage is that when you have the sheet, is they'll often hand it to you in one. I encourage you to pull it apart, make it two. When you pull like this, it kind of opens up this middle part of your body. When you pull like this, you're kind of collapsing everywhere, so you'll be more powerful with two hands than one hand. All of these positions when your feet are up like this are great if you can maintain being soft in your legs. Okay, so you're not meant to be pushing into this bar with all your might. You're meant to actually have softer legs. So partners, if you find that mom is lifting her bum off the bed, or if you're holding a leg and she's pushing in really hard, try to get her to hold her own leg like this and pull back on herself, and then that can help shift that piece where you're soft down here. Because if you're collapsing down here, your baby doesn't have a lot of space to come out, right? I think that makes sense to all of us pretty easily. Questions or thoughts? All right, and another great pushing position, especially for those of you having baby number 2. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes second babies can come a little bit easier than the first ones, maybe a little bit faster, not always, if it's a second vaginal birth. So sometimes we want to maybe not use as much gravity, be a little bit more gravity neutral, and then we can go to a sideline position. So for a sideline position, this is also good for first babies, is we would tie that sheet up here on this top one, and then you're lying on your side holding the sheet like this, and then this leg is up. Somebody's probably holding that leg up for you, and then you're curling like you're doing like a crunch, but pulling at the same time. And you can try this out at home. I encourage you to try this out at home, especially because if you weren't in a prenatal class, hook a sheet or a scarf or something on the bottom of your couch leg, and then lay down on the side and try and see what that feels like with nothing and with pulling. And even just that one thing, I think you're all gonna see, pulling will make you more powerful feeling. It's really it's quite great. Partners, this moves kind of like a rail, like a train track. Okay, so it has a couple of different places, but that one all the way down. Okay, beds always have the stirrups, just like the movies show us, like this. These tend to just come up for repair, or in the event of needing a little bit more medical assisted delivery. And then we've got these handles. I don't know, I feel like we should call them holy shit handles, but I've never seen anyone use them. Yeah. But anyways, they're there if you feel like you needed to grab onto something. You can totally grab onto that. Any other questions about the bed? Okay, let's talk about this horrific lighting. I'm gonna get you to turn that on in a second, but let's just. How about that? Isn't that, hang on, isn't that better? Yes. Okay. I immediately feel like I'm yelling every time I turn the lights off. I'm like, sorry guys. I didn't mean to be yelling at you. But it's also what happens when the staff walks in the room. If you walk out from that environment into this environment and it looks the same, you come in with the same energy. If you come into this room and you've got your Enya CD playing, and you've got your lights, right? And you've got it like this, people come in and they literally go, oh, it's nice in here. And then they come up quietly and they're like, what's going on? This is nice. But if you have everything on and it's like, you really just walk into the room the same way. So again, this is enough lighting. We even have one extra light on right here. So this is the charting light on. So even that, but some nurses like that on. But this is also, like, this is quite nice. If they need more light, they will turn it on. Please just trust that. Now, if you're hoping for quite a bit more light, say while they're catching a baby, we can put a lot more light on. So that's a lot of light. And that's a lot of light, right? Like that's enough for someone to catch a baby. If you birth and it looks like this, this is a wonderful light for you to see your baby. If you turn this light off, your baby will probably open their eyes and look at you. But with it on, it's really good. Okay, so I just encourage you to be in charge of lighting. The last lights I'll show you are these ones. So in the event of needing a repair, we've got some spotlights. I know you're thinking, that's fairly unattractive. You know, that's not people are, but you want spotlights when people are repairing your perineum. I think we could all agree we want good lighting if that's what has to happen. Okay, this side of the room over here, let's look at this really quickly. Yeah, sorry, I'll get you guys to squeeze a little bit here. Over here we have the panda warmer. So this is where they're going to weigh your baby in the event of like a normal healthy birth. This really kind of does everything. This has got like a heater, like a little sun bed on it. So that it will be heated for baby. They'll weigh them here. They'll do the newborn check. Dads, you'll probably do the first diaper here. But also this is set up for if baby needed any support. So if baby needed some suction or some support with some air, things like that, everything could be done here. In the event that baby needed to go to the NICU, baby would go in this machine. They would wheel this machine out, and then probably the partner would go with baby, and then mom would join as soon as they were cleared, depending on what was going on for them to join. I will tell you, they try to get people together as quickly as possible. But anyways, yeah, this is the panda warmer. And then this table would be set up with all the stuff that's needed for a delivery, for vaginal birth as well. Okay, so I'm gonna get you guys to have a look at the bathroom. Go in there, turn the lights on, everything. What we're gonna do next is I'm gonna show you an actual real placenta. Does anyone feel like they might faint by seeing a placenta? No.
I've like I delivered the baby in my hands. I'm okay with things
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
Okay, I asked because just very recently, and then I thought he was joking, and I responded poorly, and it turned out he wasn't joking. So I'm gonna set up right here. So I'm gonna get you guys to turn on the bathroom light, go have a look in. If you feel like you'd like to be further away from me, you can. And if you wanna get right up close, you can as well.
Oh, that's huge. इसमें रहेंगे हम ज़्यादा टाइम
ये लेबर रूम है, इसके बाद शिफ्ट करेंगे।
हाँ
इसके बाद रूम में बेबी और मैं मतलब इधर भी टाइम लग सकता है।
40 आवर लगे थे कहाँ गए थे इधर
लेकिन ये लोग नहीं होते इतना, ये जब तक आप 4 सेंटीमीटर डायलेटेड नहीं होते ये लोग घर भेज देते हैं।
So lots of people want to know about the tub. In a normal kind of healthy story, people are welcome to use the tub. If you have a physician, they will not catch a baby in the water, and they don't want you to push in the water at all. But until you're kind of at that place where, unless it's medically indicated for another reason, you're happy to labor in the tub. It's nice and deep. I also encourage you to tie up those sheets on the side there. It's a nice way to side lie and hold on to something and kind of soak in there a bit.
Yeah.
So just so everybody's clear, we are a teaching hospital, so the person who owns this placenta did not want it and did consent for you to all see it tonight. So somewhere she's in another room
पहले
going,
बताना होता है कि हमें नहीं चाहिए।
this is not warm, but it's fresh.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, was that gross?
What do you get? Like, what does it do with the placenta?
They just incinerate it.
they?
Yeah, so if you want it, you can take it home, but if you don't want it, then it just comes here.
It looks like a tree. It looks like a
So guys, this is where the tree of life comes from, right here. So this is like the trunk and then the branches up, or this is the trunk and the roots down into the ground, depending on how you want to look at it. So every time I get a placenta like this, I don't really know what we're gonna get. So this one is a little bit different. It's actually, be curious if you do get to see yours to see how it's different. The one thing that stands out is that this is a little bit off to the side. They're more commonly are in the center. So you might, if you have a placenta that where the cord is way off to the side, you probably already know that in ultrasound. Probably someone told you. But yeah, so this is your baby's wallpaper. Okay, this is your baby's side. This is what they're looking at and hanging out with. I'm gonna see if I can make a baby house here. We'll see. Depends on how their water broke, so not really here. But, so this is your amniotic sac. So this is the sac that goes all around and would make your little baby house. Okay, so when your water breaks, that's what is breaking. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the other side, and it is a little bit less pretty. So this is the maternal side. Okay, so this is the side that's attached to your uterine wall. And what happens when it comes out, they're gonna your care provider is gonna have a look, and you'll see them do this kind of thing with it, and they're just making sure if there's any place that's separated that looks like that all goes back together, and that there's no chunks that are left inside. So they want to make sure that they don't think that there's anything that was left in that can cause infection and more bleeding and things like that. So they're gonna have a look at that. And I like to show this as well because this is the size of like the wound that is on your uterus when it's the size your uterus is right now. But as your uterus contracts and the placenta peels off of it, that surface area is going to dramatically go down. So please, I want you all to be clear. I am not saying this is the size of the wound that's left in your body after the baby, but there is still this place that needs to heal, right? And so it's just kind of good to keep in mind that even second babies sometimes, if it's an easier birth, not an easy birth, but an easier birth, we can sometimes feel really quite good quite quickly, and you've got a little person that you're running around, so you're probably going to overdo it, and it's nice to remember you still actually have some healing on the inside to do it, to be gentle with yourself. Thoughts or questions? Is it cooler than you thought it was going to be?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear.
Can you tell by looking at it if it was like a healthy placenta or not?
You can tell quite a bit by looking at it. Yeah, on this side over here, you can tell if like maybe it was way overdue. You can tell. You can often see if somebody was like there's smoke in their pregnancy. You can often see that on there. If they are concerned about any of it, they'll send it down to pathology. But so if you want to take it home with you, they're gonna wrap it up probably the same way, unless you bring a container for it. You're gonna stick it in your little fridge, and then you're gonna do your very best to remember to take it with you so that the cleaner doesn't find it. You could take it home and you could encapsulate it. You could take it home and you could do some placenta art. You could take it home and you could leave it in your freezer for 15 years. I heard a story. I don't want to gross you guys out too much, but it's something I'm going to tell it anyway. They were having it. I think they were away for like their first. This couple was away for their first no kid trip, and Uncle was babysitting. Uncle cooked up some game meat that he found in the freezer. Did they eat it?
Yeah, in many countries.
It is absolutely something that
common.
many cultures eat.
Yep.
Yes, this is not like bad for you. It's just not what Uncle John made for dinner or whatever. And some people, right, they'll like dry it and make capsules with it, all sorts of different things. Some people plant it in their garden.
Other people say, I don't want to even see it, just send it away, and all of it's okay, okay? It's put away now. Okay, is there any, one other thing I want to show you in this room. The thermostat. So, in these rooms, you do have control, well, you have the illusion of control over the temperature. Right now it's set for 18 and it's balmy 20. They're broken frequently, so I really encourage you to dress for all temperatures. Always want to do when they're laboring, guys, you're going to want to hoodie. And then the baby comes out, we crank the heat up because everyone's doing skin to skin, and then you're going to want shorts and a t-shirt. So do bring for all of those. When we're tired and our hands are nice and it's cold in here, it's quite cold. Jessica, is there anything you think I've missed? I don't know, I feel like you covered it. Okay, hold on, one other thing I'll show you. For those of you that are wondering, what if I can't remember what is things that I learned? Many of the rooms have pictures of labor positions in here. So you can ask your nurse, you give us some ideas. There's the peanut ball you asked about, the ball you'll put and things like that. So just ask, and they'll help you out with that. Sound good? Okay, so we are going to go stick our head in the midwife's room just very, very quickly. You guys can have a look at the water birth cup and things like that. We're going to walk past the ER just so you have an idea of it.
This is actually nicer than Corona.
I know. Holding gets all the like, oh, it's so awesome. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, they're still birthing sometimes. Yeah.
I had like a plastic chair like that.
Yeah.
That's
a bit dramatic. Well, look at all this.
It's part of the plastic now, let me tell you.
Okay, so just very quickly here, I'm not going to keep you here for very long. The bed is it's one solid piece. Okay, this is your cot for your baby. This is where your baby will sleep. It looks like this. This is another one of those sheets I was telling you about. They really want the babies to sleep in here while you're sleeping. They also don't want the baby being carried in the hallway at any point. So if you're out in the hallway, this is how you're driving the baby around. Dads, I'm going to tell you something. Terrible, terrible wheels. So your poor sleepy selves, if you drive the baby into a corner or a wall or something, don't feel too bad you're not the first one. Mom will still be like, oh! It really does drive awful. Same things are over there. You've still got the mini fridge. Go ahead and have a look at anything. You've got, that's all looks the same. The big difference is on this side, rather than it being all nurse supplies, this is your baby change station, okay? So they'll have a little station set up here for you for changing, and then you're gonna get all your little diapers. And they have, like, this is newborn, they have size 1, and they have preemie diapers, so they've got a good range. This is what we're using as wipes frequently, so I suggest people to bring baby wipes. I find that these are, well, your baby's bits are little. These are, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. And then you're also going to find in here some Vaseline. So for baby's first poop, You put on their first diaper, you want to smear all their bits with Vaseline because that first meconium poop is like tar. Dads, you're often the one putting it on, and if you think I'm joking, and you would go, oh, it's weird to touch there, put more there. The part that you think is the weirdest is the part to apply the most, because that's where you're going to be getting the tar off of you. And then there's also Q-tips here for some cord care and things like that. They'll offer a bath around the 6-hour point most of the time. If you need a nurse, you're going to have a call bell. You're going to push the button. There's a red cord in the bathroom. This bathroom looks the same as the ones you already saw. If you pull the red cord in the bathroom, 3 people are going to come running. If you push the button, someone's going to come in and ask you how it's going. Okay? Guys, if you slide down the wall and sit down in the bathroom tired beside the tub and you pull the cord, you won't even know it. And 3 people will come running in. Yes, I don't know. Sitting there all quietly. What? We're good. And then the other thing in here again is lighting. So same lighting, but I just encourage you to use that really soft lighting for your baby. Also, I do encourage everyone to bring a battery operated light of some sort because the bathroom is just full on, full off. And so whether it's while you're in labor, the bathroom's a great place to kind of create that openness to sit in the bathroom so you can use the lighting. But also after your baby's born, it's nice to be able to go in and out. So the rooms on this side all have curtains. So you can see that the sun and the moon is changing. You're not just kind of stuck in a time warp, but this is like staff entrance right across from rehab. Like you're probably gonna have your curtains closed a lot of the time, but at least you get to see what's going on a little bit there. Thoughts or questions?
Any question?
No. And then I'm just going to show you where the NICU is. So if your baby needed to go to the NICU, your baby would be a patient of the NICU, you would be a patient here until you're discharged. So a normal discharge for a vaginal birth is 24 hours, for a cesarean birth is 2 nights. So if baby needed a longer stay but mom did not, then mom would be discharged, baby would stay there, but you could be there as much as you wanted to be. All the rooms will have a bed like this, they'll all have a fridge, and then they should all have room, at least room for a nicer chair. So your little people, as far as siblings go, under 2, they don't want them in the NICU at all. The NICU does not have visiting hours though, so that can come and go, but they don't want any kids under 2 in there. Just check with your nurse as far as your own kids and visiting hours here. Have a check-in on that. Any other thoughts or questions?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, because I have 3 kids, like, can they be in here when, like during regular visiting hours, or?
Yeah.
But not during, like, when it's not.
I would check with your nurse.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't wanna say, because I think that there's a lot of different
Yeah.
things. Yeah. Right? Like, there's just every situation's not the same. So I always say with family, check with the nurse. And that goes for for both labor and afterwards. But visiting hours, you can have 20 in there.
Oh, okay.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
You probably don't want that, but they did find pre-COVID we did not have visiting hours at all, and they found with the kind of lockdown of COVID and having it be a little bit more strict, they found people were getting more rest and breastfeeding a little bit easier when they had company coming in and out because people have more boundaries. And so now that's why they sent visiting hours. Any other questions?
So someone told me that there is a room for babies so they can play there. There are some toys or inside.
That is up in peds. So pediatric area has that. The only place that we have a little bit of stuff is in the waiting room that you guys sat in.
Yeah, the first one.
So there's that space and they could be out there. But there's like they took away all the toys really.
Okay.
So I think there's like a little table and some crayons maybe, but yeah. Yeah, there is a really nice playroom in pediatrics.
Like we need to bring our own toys here.
You need to bring your own toys here. Yeah, for sure. Anything else? Okay. Also, you have temperature control in here. Okay, let's just have a look at the NICU and then we'll head down.
Okay, open karo. Oh yes, so showing the boat. Yeah, it's nice and big. Yeah, fine. Aja. Nice. Yeah, सबकी नहीं है. विंडो सबकी विंडो होगी. अच्छा, डॉगी भी घूम रहे हैं यहाँ पे.
Okay, just really quickly, the NICU is right through these doors. The doors that we were right beside when we came on the other side are the others. Those are both doors into the NICU. This is your main entrance. If you were to have a baby there, you would get a fob card so that you could pass by this and you go in. If you had company coming, I encourage you to be responsible for coming and opening the door for them rather than getting the nurses to do that, if it's possible for you. Otherwise, they can actually let them in. If you're in the NICU as well, you would eat all your hot food out here. They don't want you to eat hot food in there. The smell is hard on and partners, the bathroom that you would use is right in there. If mom is not in the bathroom in the labor room, of course go ahead and use it. But if she's in the tub, like that, I encourage you to not use it. Eloise nurse comes in. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell them, remind them that there's a placental sitting in your room. We're just leaving, but I just wanted to tell you the placenta's been made. Okay. Yeah.
When you guys go, can you just shut that main door?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you got it. All right, guys, let's go this way. Okay, so we're gonna walk out, not the same way we came in. So I want to show you where the cafeteria is. So we're gonna so this is where we came in, this way. Reverse. Get a much better signs to exit. You and me both go. Let's go. Take your baby out. Yeah. The elevators is right up here. I'll point them out where they are around the corner. And you are coming up to the first floor. Your ground floor, then first floor. Again, sideways on the stairs, breathing through these and breathing your pelvis. Super helpful labor. Big sign there. All right, guys, just very quickly, the cafeteria in Tim Hortons is just, there's a sign right behind this gentleman, and then you see the big red Tim Hortons arrow right there. So the cafeteria doesn't have great hours, so don't think of it after dinner time at all. It closes early on the weekend, it's closed on stats. It doesn't have a normal Tim Hortons, so it doesn't have sandwiches and wraps, but it has like soup and breakfast all day. The elevators are just right behind you, so the elevators we walk by are just right there. So that's where you would come up to just to level 1. And we'll just come down here and then let you guys go.
right, everybody. This is the end of our tour, so I'm just going to say again, the Pay by Phone app, you can scan it there, but Pay by Phone, the screen app, I encourage everybody to get it. If you're going to use this, I encourage you to get a 3-day parking pass. Just get 3 days and be done with it. On the app, you can only get, I think, 18 hours at a time, so you need to kind of keep re-upping it, but at least you have it. So the exit is closed. We're going to exit this way here. So after hours exit is here, and you'll see the times again, 7 to 7. And if anybody has extra questions, please stay and ask me. And otherwise, happy birthday, everybody. Good luck. Congratulations. All that good stuff. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're so welcome.
बाहर निकल आए हैं हम लोग
टोटली डिफरेंट है यहाँ सिस्टम चाइना से
हाँ यू नो बहुत अच्छे रूम्स थे और बड़ी बड़ी अच्छी फैसिलिटीज थी हाँ और
मतलब उन्होंने राइट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग आप लोग आना है, आप लोगों ने कार यहाँ पे पार्क करनी है, कहाँ कहाँ जाना है, सारे स्पेसेस पे एंड फिर कैसे एग्जिट करना है।
चाइना में हमें मुश्किल हुई थी, नासिक को पता नहीं चलता था कहाँ से लिफ्ट लेनी है, कहाँ से जाना है।
इतनी बड़ी थी, हॉस्पिटल बहुत बड़े थे, बड़े वार्ड थे। यहाँ पे थोड़ा एक तो लैंग्वेज बैरियर नहीं है, सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम जो था वहाँ पे गार्ड्स को समझाना बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता था हर जगह पे। तो गार्ड यहाँ पे ऐसा सिस्टम है नहीं गार्ड वाला, और बहुत इंटरेक्टिव है यहाँ पे। मतलब आप इवन बेबी बर्थ हो रही है और आप पास रह सकते हो,
हाँ
लेबर में भी आप साथ रह सकते हो।
हाँ वो कह रहे थे कि आपका बच्चा भी आपके साथ स्टे कर सकता है, लेकिन अगर बच्चा आपको स्ट्रेस में देखेगा ना, मुझे डॉक्टर बताए थे, तो बच्चा टेंशन में होगा, आप और टेंशन में होगा, आप फोकस नहीं कर पाओगे लेबर पे।
हाँ
तो
हम कोशिश करेंगे इब्राहिम को तब लेके आए जब डिलीवरी हो जाए।
हाँ
चलें, ये था हमारा जी आज का ट्रिप।
हाँ
मुझे वैसे बड़ा एक्साइटिंग था, मैं मतलब स्टार्ट हुआ तो मैंने कहा बड़ा मज़े का है। मतलब और भी 8 कपल्स थे राइट,
हाँ
मतलब सब आए हुए थे। वाओ नाइस।
हाँ तो ये जी हम आने वाले हैं इस हॉस्पिटल में
3 दिन का पास ले लीजिए पार्किंग का,
हाँ
और फिर लग रहा है हमारे